Creamer Media's Mining Weekly is interviewing Bruce Cleaver, the CEO of the De Beers Group. Bruce, it's a full year since the De Beers Group set itself a dozen far-reaching goals on the sustainability front. My reading of your 2021 sustainability report points to some strong progress being made, and I say early as well, along your 2030 Building Forever journey. 2030 is an early date. Most people are citing 2050. Why do you regard the achievement of these goals as being so important?
Thanks, Martin. Hi, and it's good to be with you again. For us, the whole point of our Building Forever strategy, our very ambitious, and I agree it's an ambitious strategy in our sustainability goals, is really driven by our desire for De Beers to leave a positive, sustainable legacy long beyond diamond mines. As you and I have discussed before, diamonds are forever, but unfortunately diamond mines probably aren't forever. And that eventually, although luckily not anytime soon, our mines will eventually run out. And it's really important that we start thinking now about how we create a positive and sustainable legacy for all of our stakeholders, particularly those folks who live and work around the mines, that lasts essentially forever. And that's why this concept of Building Forever is so important to us as the De Beers Group, and the language we use around Building Forever is so important. I think it was always important for us, but I think the events of the last few years have really accelerated for me the need for us to do this better and quicker. And there are a number of reasons, Martin, why I think it's so important we do this by 2030. First one is, of course, it's very aligned with the UN's Decade of Action request, which is the 17 SDGs, which by the end of the 2020s, they are expecting the world to have got there. So we're very aligned with that. Secondly, of course, because we sell such an incredible product, which is almost all sold in the form of set diamond jewelry, it is a discretionary product. It's a luxury product. And therefore, the consumers who buy it, rightly, I think, ask us questions about sustainability, as they should. So I think that's been a trend we've seen accelerating over the last couple of years. More of these questions from consumers, more relevant questions from consumers. And as I said earlier, given that it's a discretionary purchase, it's really important to us that we can answer the questions of consumers and we can answer their social aspirations in a way that makes them proud to be a buyer of a diamond from De Beers. And so if you add all of those up, that's what is why we are so ambitious about getting this done by 2030. It's a big ask. It comes in a number of areas. As you said, there are 4 principal pillars that we work around. But it's something I'm pleased to say we've got the whole organization really energized behind and really excited by. So it's actually a great motivational tool when we go out and recruit people, because people want to be part of an organization that's on such an exciting journey. So a bit of a long answer to your question, but it's a combination of what consumers want, and the way the world is changing, and our desire as a business to do even better.
And under those 4 pillars, what are the key highlights since the announcement of the 2030 sustainability goals?
Yeah, so we have 4 particular pillars, and then each of them have sub-pillars underneath them. So leading ethical practices is one, and we've been a really big proponent and pusher of making sure that everybody in the diamond value chain, not just De Beers, follows all ethical practices. Thriving communities is another, and I'll come back and touch on some of these details in a minute, but it's really important for us that our communities around the mines in which we operate thrive today and tomorrow. Protecting the natural world. Natural diamonds are such an incredible treasure of nature. It is so important for us that we protect the natural world around which we mine, and accelerating equal opportunity. The diamond industry's done really well in the last couple of years to accelerate equal opportunity, but there's a long way to go still. And so we've looked at each of those platforms that I've spoken about and have got very specific goals and very specific actions and activities behind them. So things like, if I take on, for example, protecting the natural world, well, we've done the most phenomenal work with people like National Geographic in order to try and protect the headland waters of the Okavango Delta as they arise in Angola. We know that the way that's going on, there will be no water in the Delta in some years, and that's be a terrible outcome for the world. And so we work very closely with National Geographic on that in order to try and build programs that allow us to make that water sustainable. So work with farmers in Angola to create different kinds of jobs so that they don't use as much water, and work with the communities in Angola, etc. So there's an example of the things we do in the protecting the natural world space. Leading ethical practices, partly actually as a result of the desire of consumers to know more about where their diamond comes from and the good the diamond has done. We've rapidly accelerated our Tracer program, which is our industry-leading blockchain program, which will allow us by the end of the year to put about 60% of all our goods on it, and so the consumer will know not only where the diamond came from, and they should ask those kind of questions, but the good that it's done along the way. You know, we do tremendous amount of work in areas like advancing equal opportunity. We've got a really big ambition to get 10,000 women entrepreneurs in the business. We've got 10,000 STEM learners in Africa and in Canada. And so we do all kinds of work on each of these goals. And what is really good about it, I think, and where we are in a different space to where we were, let's say, 2-3 years ago, is, for me, Building Forever has become core business at De Beers. So it's in the business plan. It's not something you do on the side, like we might have done a few years ago. We have goals to meet, we have roadmaps, we have targets, we have subject matter experts looking after each of these 12 pillars. And so I feel we're in a tremendous position now to deliver a really, really interesting sustainability future, because we've set it up properly as part of a business, people with responsibilities to get it done, monitoring programs, etc. So I think it's a great and exciting place for us to be.
Beyond your Building Forever sustainability commitments, what contributions are ongoing to your host communities?
A significant part of what we do, of course, is working with host communities. So, thriving communities is one of our 4 goals. I think if you take a step back, it's worth just illustrating this. In the countries in which we operate, in the course of 2021, our businesses paid $4.7 billion of tax to the local governments, and about 97%, I think, of that was in Africa. So I think people sometimes forget that even through a pandemic, and 2020 was a very difficult year for us, but 2021 was better. We make very significant contributions to the countries in which we operate at a fiscal level. And those countries have, generally speaking, been very good and wise about investing their diamond revenues. And to just digress for a minute, but give you a great example. When we found a Rapa mine, what is now a Rapa mine in Botswana, in the late 1960s, there were 3 miles of tarred road in Botswana. There are now 4,000 miles of tarred roads in Botswana, and that has largely been done on the back of the government wisely investing diamond revenues. So we're very proud of the role we play there, but we have very strong goals in relation to how we help communities around the mine. So we have a strong program that we are looking to create 4 jobs off the mine for every 1 job we have on the mine. And so we have a whole series of programs like this business about STEM education that I talked to you about. It's really important we get communities into STEM subjects and that we are able to help them reskill for the transition into what the future of work is. So we spend a great deal of time and effort and money there. We did tremendous stuff throughout the countries in which we operate with COVID. We spent a lot of money on COVID relief. We did a really powerful thing too, although we essentially stopped selling diamonds in 2020. We did not stop paying out people. So it was very important to all of us that we kept food on people's tables. That's the only way they could stay healthy, etc. We've done a great deal of work with our local governments in sourcing vaccinations, in paying for them in certain circumstances, in sourcing PCR machines, in paying for them, in rolling out a great deal of COVID relief. So a lot of what we've done in COVID and beyond is very much around this concept of thriving communities.
What do you think should be the main takeaway from this interview?
To me, actually, the main takeaway is that Building Forever or sustainability is core business. And it's got to be something that I think all businesses inculcate into the business. And what I mean by that is, as I said earlier, we used to have sustainability on the side, and we still have sustainability experts. But I think we're making progress because we've got every single person in the business to believe that they're a sustainability ambassador. And so we don't only ask the team of sustainability experts to go on and do what they do. We ask every single person in the organization to think on a daily basis, what can we do as an organization to improve sustainability, whether that's greenhouse gases, whether that's using less water. We've got some tremendous ambition here to be carbon neutral by 2030. We've got some powerful tools, wind, particularly in places like Namibia, sun in places like Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa. So to me, the way to do this is to make it core business. Make every single man and woman in your organization believe in it and think that it's part of their journey to help us deliver it. not leave it to a team of specialist experts only. That, I think, for De Beers has been a big step change, Martin.
That was Creamer Media's Mining Weekly, interviewing Bruce Cleaver, the CEO of the De Beers Group,